title of my message this morning is Live as Kings. Come on, somebody say that with me. What? My senior year in high school was very interesting, and I had the incredible privilege. It was actually a really weird thing. Some of you know this story in my life. My junior and senior year, I had the wonderful privilege to be coached in wrestling by an Olympic coach, an Olympic wrestling coach. He coached people like Randy Couture and different others, and absolutely amazing, phenomenal coach. And here I was, a part of this tiny little Christian school, and he had got married. He actually got married on the mats, the wrestling mats at the Olympics. Exactly. But he moved to Maui and came to the church, and my uncle recruits him, and he becomes a wrestling coach of our tiny little school. So my junior and senior year, I have this incredible privilege to be coached by this amazing, world-renowned wrestling coach. Well, what ends up happening is I break my ankle my junior year, and I miss states by one match. I mean, it was a horrible situation. But my senior year, I trained, I got ready for it, and I'm telling you what, it was awesome. I'm not going to say I was some phenomenal wrestler. I knew about 3 moves, but I could do those 3 moves really good. You know what I'm saying? I had those 3 moves down. Well, I became the champion of the island for my weight class. I was seated first for Maui. And so I come to States, and what ends up happening is I walk into the Stan Sheriff Arena, and I never forget it. It was such a surreal moment for me. Because you walk into the Stan Sheriff Arena, and there's cameras everywhere, and there's people everywhere. And I'm from Maui. Like the biggest stage on Maui for wrestling was like Baldwin High School, and there were like 2 mats, you know. And now here I'm in the Stan Sheriff, and there's like mats everywhere and people all over the place, and they're watching you, and the cameras are like all up in there. And see, this is the one thing you have to realize about wrestling. You're wearing a singlet. Now, for some of you that don't understand, now I'm not talking about like WWF wrestling. I'm talking about like high school collegiate wrestling. You know, everybody understand what I'm saying? So it's really, really tight. It's like spandex, right? I mean, it's you can see everything. And it's crazy because these guys will get up there and you're wrestling this guy and you're in awkward positions and they got the camera and they're zooming in. You're like, seriously? It was the most uncomfortable situation I think I've ever been put in my life. Well, what ends up happening is my first match, I wrestled this guy, and it was just a weird match. It was one of those weird matches. Everybody know what I'm talking about. Like, it just didn't, I lost by 2 points. Well, so my second match was a double elimination. I'm going up against this guy from Kamehameha. Now, this was pre-Kamehameha Maui days. All right? This was like where Kamehameha High School was like the school. Right? And so there was like this air around this guy. And I'm like, come here, man. I'm looking at my coach. I'm like, I'm about to wrestle some guy. I'm from Ka'ahumanu. You got to realize from my school, when people ask you, what school you go come on. Like, what is that? And so I'm super intimidated, right? I'm like, oh my goodness. Well, so I'm in this space where Stan Sheriff, jam-packed with people, the cameras, the everything, and I'm wrestling some dude from Kamehameha High School. And I'm freaking out. And I get into that match, and I'm kind of wrestling this guy, but I'm super just standoffish, and he's going at me, and he grabs my leg and pulls me to the ground, and he's wrestling me, and I'm just like, oh, this is crazy. And I'm down by 6 points. It was the third period, last period, I'm down by 6 points. And my coach comes up, my coach brings me off to the side in between the periods. He says, Morocco, what are you doing? He says, you're better than this. What is wrong with you? He says, do you not understand what you've been through in the last 2 years? See, there were times, you got to realize something. For 2 years, my junior and senior year, I did not have one soda. Do you know how demonic that is? Let me tell you right now, that is evil. That is evil. What do you drink? Water. I normally, when I played football, I weighed 198 pounds. I was wrestling at 171. That's skinny. Let me tell you something, that's skinny. Look, you would be skinny too if somebody told you you're going to have to wear a singlet in front of hundreds of people. And he looks at me, he says, Morocco, you're a champion. Act like it.
Hey, come on.
And when he said that, I'm like, wait a second. I wrestled some of the best. Wait a second. Why am I treating this guy? Why am I approaching him the way hey, I'm a pretty decent I may know 3 moves, but I'm going to put him in those 3 moves. You're a champion. Act like it. And I remember I went back into that match in the 3rd period down by 6 points. And I started wrestling that guy. And I put him in holds I didn't even know I could put somebody in. It's awesome. I'm like looking at my coach. You see this move? Yeah. I made this one up myself. One point, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 5 points. And in one period, I scored 5 points on this guy that I was intimidated by, that I was overwhelmed by. What happened? Did my skill level change? No, my perspective changed. You know, the sad thing is I ended up losing that match by only 1 point. You know, the worst thing is, if I would have won that match, I would have automatically made it to 4th place in states if I would have just won that match. Isn't that sad? See, sometimes we don't realize the life that we've been given. We don't understand the power and the authority that we've been given. Friends, your kings live like it.